citizens.
Yeah. Okay, so are you ready for the second fic?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right, so I've been told that for the Harry Potter fic, I should have tried to use British accents. It's more entertaining when I read with voices, even if they're bad.
Is that what people are saying?
That's what I've been told.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to tell you, I suck at British accents. So, luckily...
We neither of us have any sort of training.
No.
Yep.
Luckily, this is not British, the accent in this, but it's two pretty distinct voices. I'm going to do my best to do both of them.
Okay.
Last week, when we were recording, what was the one that you missed? Like, when you said, I missed this?
I missed this.
Yeah. You missed that type of story.
Oh, the more profane, sensual, romantic.
So, I didn't want to get into this. Like I said, I don't want to limit us to just the dirty ones. However,
if the people want it.
If the people want it. Two, we did already do a really good one. I thought the PewDiePie one was great.
Sure.
So, this is a little treat. If you're listening with your children, cover their ears for the next 20 or 30 minutes.
And, just from experience, if you're listening with your parents, cover their ears too.
Have you shown this to your parents?
No, or your guardians. I'm just saying it. The level of filth that we approach should be heard by almost no one.
Yeah. Just turn it off right now. Anyone who's listening.
Walk away.
We have warned you.
Turn it off, walk away.
This is the squick.
Walk away.
These are your squicks right here.
Our tag is walk away.
If you did thespians, this piece is asterisk for everything, I think.
Please rise and exit the theater.
Yes. Are you ready? It's called Holes.
I don't know if I'm ready, Bill.
SpongeBob looked down at his feet and blushed, unable to meet his lover's eyes. This would be the Sponge's first time engaging in sexual intercourse, and he felt extremely nervous. Do you want to guess who he's dating?
He said Bill?
Yeah.
Is it a real person or is it a fictional character?
It's a real person.
It's Bill Cosby, isn't it?
Better, but close.
Bill Clinton.
He had been secretly dating former President Bill Clinton for a while now, but they had never seen one another nude before.
Good. Hey, Bill, he's taking it slow.
Bill's, finally taking it slow. It took him long enough.
Good for him.
He finally learned his lesson.
I am not here. Okay.
What if Bill didn't think he was sexy? He knew it was just a fling, but SpongeBob wanted his first time to be perfect.
It's totally natural.
He wanted it to be a moment he'd treasure forever with absolutely no regrets. Luckily, Bill seemed to understand. He placed his hand under the Sponge's chin and lifted his head.
That little red chin.
Yeah. This one's for you, Steven Hillenberg. Looking back at him now were two large, innocent blue eyes, unmatched in beauty. They put his wife, Hillary's, to shame, a thought which made him feel a bit guilty.
Doesn't Hillary also have blue eyes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill had promised his wife he would never cheat with another woman again.
Now I know that first time, but never
first
again.
5 times were a mistake. But he had never said anything about having an affair with a sponge. Still, he knew it was wrong to be seeing SpongeBob like this, especially since the gullible Sponge was unaware that he was married. The former president...
How is SpongeBob?
He lives in a pineapple under the sea. He doesn't keep up with current American politics.
But he still knows he's a former president.
Honestly, if you told me right now Bill Clinton was in a club somewhere hitting on some 18-year-old and be like, I was the president, and didn't mention Hillary, and they didn't piece
people
that
know
together.
who Hillary is now.
If you told me that there was someone dumb enough out there that didn't know that they were married, I'd say I believe you.
They wouldn't try to Google him?
No.
Fact check him?
People don't do that.
All right.
They just take people for their word.
We should get away from that because Google's trying to control the world.
That's a good point. They don't Google it. They Bing it.
Boom.
Because it's not Google.
Exactly. They dogpile it.
Yeah. The former president would need to be careful. That was sure. You're beautiful, SpongeBob. More beautiful than any sponge I've ever met. The pair began to remove one another's clothing, taking it as slowly as SpongeBob needed. He was still nervous, but Bill's words had reassured him that everything would be okay. He was a kind and loving man, as well as experienced sexually, a fact SpongeBob was both thankful for and disappointed in.
How does SpongeBob know that he's experienced? Has he been told this?
Probably, I'm sure.
By Bill.
Perhaps, or maybe his confidence just kind of clued him in,
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
But he's made it many times.
He's made it many times with many ways. And
in bad places. In terrible places.
with cigars,
Yep.
yeah. On one hand, he was glad Bill would know what to do and would be able to guide him through his first time with ease. On the other hand, he was a bit sad that he wasn't his lover's first. By far. By damn far. As he wanted to be his fully. Regardless, he would try his best to relax and enjoy what was to come. Having removed his final piece of clothing, both the man and Sponge studied each other's bodies closely, amazed at the difference between them. SpongeBob had seen humans in bathing suits at the beach before, and he actually wrote on the back of
David Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff, yes.
And Antonio Banderas, he fought him in the other movie.
In the new one?
Yeah.
Mm. But he had never seen one completely nude. Bill, I'm calling BS on this first part of the sentence before I even read it.
Okay.
Bill was absolutely flawless, save for a bit of flab and several liver spots courtesy of his old age.
Are you body shaming the former president, Bill Clinton?
I kind of am. Yeah.
Well, that just reflects more on you than Bill, doesn't it?
That's fine. We're talking about Bill, not Thickery. Not Thickery.
No, we're talking about Bill. We're talking about Bill.
Where was I? Oh, it was no surprise when Sponge's sponge dong came to attention almost immediately, surprising the man before him with its sudden erectness.
Does it also have sponge tendencies where if it gets wet, it like swells up and or gets heavy and
I'm going to be
soggy?
honest with you. I think it's the other way around. I think the natural male penis already has sponge tendencies. It's actually
absorbent?
It's called spongiform tissue down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. You learned something.
I think it's spongiform.
You learned something that you need to vigorously drink to forget every day.
Absolutely, yeah. I wish I didn't know these things. Well, looky here. I didn't know you had such a big willy. Gosh dang, look at that thing.
Gosh dang, look at
Look at
that thing.
that thing.
That's our new podcast
Gosh
catchphrase.
dang, look at that thing.
Oh, man. Hit single coming out. I'm sorry. I keep interrupting.
No, it's fine.
It's full of
There's a
gems.
lot to know here. There's a lot to digest. SpongeBob blushed in embarrassment, though he felt pride as well. He was glad Bill was impressed with his size. Though the sponge could see why, as the man's winky was tiny in comparison. He didn't mind, though. To SpongeBob, Bill was perfect. Regardless of his micro-peener. Not micro-penis, micro-peener.
That's one I haven't heard. That might have been
Micro-peener.
that might be a typo.
I hope it is. I hope it's not.
Is it IR, PENIR, or PENR?
P-E-E-N-E-R. Micro-peener.
Wait, say that again. PEENER.
E-R.
Okay, I don't know if they're doing like penier, like a Spanish verb, but no, peener. I don't know.
There's a Spanish verb for penis?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
That would seem. It would look like a Spanish verb.
Oh,
Penier.
okay.
Tu peniste.
I'm glad you approve, Bill. I just couldn't help myself.
Why does
You're
SpongeBob
so
sound like my
sexy.
grandma?
I don't know. I'm not good at the SpongeBob voice, okay? But I was told it entertains, it adds value to the podcast.
And that's all we're here for.
Yes.
That's all we're here for.
Bill's tiny doodle was ecstatic to hear this, as it rose in arousal after having heard the sponge's praise of him and his undoubtedly flawless physique. Totally off subject here. I also want to give an extra thumbs up to the PewDiePie one for not saying incredulously.
Oh yeah. I didn't hear that at all.
I just thought of that, and I'm hoping it's not used in this one. I don't know how it could be.
They
But
say
if it
whilst
is,
was whilst mentioned.
whilst is another one, but it wasn't in the PewDiePie one. I don't think it was. I know, SpongeBob. I know. Very carefully, he gripped the sponge's waist and laid him gently on the bed, placing soft kisses all over his porous body. He could tell by his lover's facial expression that he was enjoying it greatly, and soon enough, quiet moans began to escape his lips.
Oh, yeah, Bill.
The man began to caress him, taking his massive schlong in hand. Ah! A loud gasp was... Oh, so SpongeBob one. Ah! A loud gasp. A loud gasp was uttered from SpongeBob's lips, but he did not protest further. After making sure he was fine, Bill began to slide his hand up and down in a steady rhythm around the sponge's member, feeling it twitch in pleasure. In a daring move, the former president placed his mouth over the tip into... I would not have expected Bill to be the one so proactive here.
He's got to teach him.
He seems more predatory, like he's forcing them to do it, but not in this. He's a tender lover in this, I must say.
Well, for someone, when he's dealing with someone who's so inexperienced, he has to teach him the ways he wants to be
Oh my god!
pleasured. So this is kind of like,
yes.
Did you ever watch that R. Kelly documentary?
No.
He would take, he'd like train people.
Yeah.
So he would get these, they often underage girls, which is terrible. It's Surviving R. Kelly, got to watch.
Yeah.
It. They're re-airing it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. He would take like these girls and he would make them engage in intercourse with other people, just like nonstop, and then he would go with them because. They're inexperienced. He doesn't want that. He wants
young girls, but he wants them to be experienced.
they gotta pleasure him, and it was also like a mental tactic to completely break them down.
That kind of reminds me of what I know about 50 Shades of Grey, where he's like very controlling and wants to like. At one point, he makes her take birth control, which I guess he has like a doctor like inject her with one of the birth controls or something.
It's a love story for our age.
Yes. And you can also find herpes on pages of public libraries copies. That actually happened.
Oh, gross!
Did you hear about that?
Oh my god, no!
These
Wait, like so if you rented it out of the library, you would get.
They did a couple test swabs of some of the pages, and they found herpes on the pages.
I go to the library a lot. I have never considered. They don't clean books. You can't clean books.
No,
I'm done with books.
Yeah,
books were over.
That's kind of why I buy books. That's
I'm more of a germaphobe than a reader, so that part of my life is done.
Just stick to fanfic, friend.
It's done
on your computer. It's all your germs.
Yes, I'm gonna lock myself in and just stick to the screens.
Yeah, that's a good reason to never read. Right there.
Whew.
Just don't check out a 50 Shades of Grey book, and I think you're fine.
That's why fanfic is probably like the number one doctor approved form of literature.
No, that technically is fanfic, but whatever.
Yeah. Online fanfic.
Where were we? Okay. SpongeBob had his left. And then Bill began to slide his hand up and down in a steady rhythm around the sponge's member.
He's got his mouth.
Feeling it twitch in pleasure. In a daring move, the former president placed his mouth over the tip, interrupting SpongeBob's moans for a brief second. He licked and licked as though he were devouring an ice cream cone, gradually moving down towards the shaft. The sponge texture was dry and odd to the taste, but he persisted, determined to give SpongeBob the time of his life. That makes
the time of my life.
Now I'm just picturing SpongeBob running up to Bill Clinton and Bill Clinton lifting him.
Never felt this way before.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. That would make sense if he's filleting SpongeBob. His mouth would get dry because Sponge is
taking
absorbing all of the spit.
This author knows what they're doing.
Yeah, they thought it out. Sadly,
the logistics of it.
I'm gonna...
Bill stopped immediately and flipped the sponge onto his stomach. He refused to let SpongeBob finish yet. There were so many holes he still needed to fill.
What a sentence.
And he wasn't going to let it end without experiencing all the sponge had to offer.
What are you?
Shh, just trust me, all right? It's time you put these holes to a good use.
I just want to point out, no one can see it. Alex is doing the traditional politician thumb wag.
That's how I get in. For all the presidents, I can do a somewhat decent impression of, besides Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the hands really high, pinched.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can do your Abe Lincoln.
Part of it.
Hey, guys. Let's go see a play.
Oh, God.
And then for George Washington's like,
I did not cut down that cherry tree.
He was Virginian, so he probably had an accent like that.
Probably.
Yeah. No, part of impressions are the physical. You can't just do it in the voice.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the listener...
That's fine.
Because I'm getting the full benefit of
it. Yeah.
I feel selfish to...
Like in
He's
Aladdin.
also wearing full costume.
Full costume, yes, and I have a cigar in my mouth, ready to place it in one of SpongeBob's holes. I need to experience it. And then SpongeBob, to Bill Clinton, says,
Okay.
Very slowly, Bill inserted his pee-pee into what? Really? His pee-pee? Into...
We talked about this, how almost every usage of the word has to be a different form of it.
Into one of SpongeBob's many holes, feeling his lover clench as he did so. It was a strange sensation for a man. A feeling of roughness and dryness tickled his genitals, something he was not used to. Imagine if SpongeBob had the suds. He'd probably be better for this.
Oh, because he's saturated?
Yeah. With a soapy, lubricated-ish material.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But then Bill Clinton would catch the suds, and it would be like, why does
not
Bill
the
Clinton...
first thing he's caught.
That'd be all over the National Enquirer. Why does Bill Clinton have the suds? And SpongeBob also has the suds. They were seen leaving an L.A. hotspot together. It would blow up.
I did not have sexual relations with that sponge.
There it is. That should have been the name of this episode.
Yeah. Holes is still...
Pretty solid.
Are you all right, SpongeBob? Yeah. SpongeBob wasn't used to such a sensation either, but he trusted Bill and knew he wouldn't hurt him. So far, this hadn't been as bad as he thought. He was enjoying what his lover was doing, and he managed to relax. Whatever Bill did, he knew he would be fine. After a moment, Bill continued to pump away, letting out several loud moans of his own. One after another, he switched holes, wanting to try each one at least once.
Various diameters.
Yes, some were a tighter fit than others, but all of them were pleasurable to both sponge and man.
He has a micro peener, right?
Micro peener.
So most of them are probably loose fits.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Bill began to quicken his pace, pounding harder and deeper. There are no words for him to describe how good he was feeling right now. To put it simply, it was as if he had ascended to heaven and was having sexual intercourse with an angel itself. He knew he would come at any moment. Before SpongeBob could utter another word, Bill's cum exploded inside of him. Hillary! And his orgasmic daze, the only thing he pictured, was his wife. As he had secretly been imagining he was making love to his wife all along.
Oh my goodness.
Unfortunately, it was no longer a secret now. If you remember, SpongeBob didn't know he's married.
Right.
He had made the mistake of giving in too far to his true desires and would now have to face the consequences. Who the fuck is Hillary? In a fit of tears and anger, SpongeBob turned himself right side up and confronted his lover head on. Wait, real quick. Bill Clinton is not a good lover. He got SpongeBob close to the edge and then used all of his holes, finished, and SpongeBob still isn't done and won't be now.
Well, yeah, I think Bill Clinton, obviously, because he got carried away, said the name of his wife. I think he's this seasoned lover, but he got wrapped up in the moment. He had a plan, obviously, because he set SpongeBob up, and he said, nope, not yet.
Not yet.
I have a lot of faith in the former president. But also, I like to picture SpongeBob gathering the blankets up and just moving away, all hurt. This is taking a turn.
Yeah, SpongeBob turned himself right side up and confronted his lover head on, all the while soaking up Bill's cum as it was currently coating his insides.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
What a shame. The sponge hadn't even been able to finish. I'm so glad me and the author are on the same page on this one. I don't know what you're talking about. The former president desperately tried to fix the situation, but to no avail. SpongeBob knew he wasn't mistaken. As someone by the name Hillary had called Bill's phone before, he had let it slide.
SpongeBob's such a thought. He's creeping on Bill's phone.
He is, wanting to give his lover the benefit of the doubt, but he could now see that he shouldn't have. Liar! Miss Hillary called your phone before. You said she was just a co-worker.
Let me see your texts, Bill. Let me see them.
Show me the receipts. SpongeBob wiped away his tears and turned away, not wanting to look Bill in the eyes. His first time was supposed to be special, something he could look back on fondly for years to come. Damn. The man knew this, and yet he went out of his way to betray him. She's my wife. There was no point in lying now. The sponge was smarter than he looked. The man never thought he would have remembered such a thing after all this time, seeing as how he couldn't even remember what he ate that morning the majority of the time. Wife? The way SpongeBob said that word gave him the chills. It sounded so cold and hateful, completely unlike the cheerful and bubbly Sponge he had come to admire. was understandable given what had just occurred, but something just didn't seem quite right. Yes, SpongeBob, I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. Bill hoped he could see how remorseful he was, and eventually forgive him. It was true, he never wanted to hurt the sponge. It was a mistake, and it never should have gone this far. He had made SpongeBob's first time a disaster, and for that he was deeply sorry.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve that.
I see.
Kitchen knife in hand, SpongeBob finally turned to face his ex-lover.
What, was the kitchen knife in the bedroom or something?
Maybe they're in like a studio apartment.
Okay, yeah, sure. Oh, I like that. Yeah, they're in like a studio high-rise in Manhattan.
The place where Bill takes all of his lovers.
Yeah,
SpongeBob thought he was special and he's not.
Eyes wide shut kind of deal.
Yes. His face was expressionless, and his eyes no longer shone in the innocence and cheerfulness he was known for. He was hollow on the inside and outside, and for once in his life, the former president felt fear. What are you doing? Don't get all crazy on me now. Bill started to back away, frantically searching for the door. He didn't make it far, however, as the sponge was far too fast for him. Before he had a chance to react, SpongeBob lunged forward, swinging the knife at his neck.
You got me. I'm crazy, but only because I ever trusted you. Die.
One clean cut, and Bill's severed head laid on SpongeBob's bedroom floor. That was SpongeBob's room. His body quickly followed, leaving nothing but the remains of the man formerly known
Wait,
as
it's SpongeBob's room? They're underwater.
Maybe
SpongeBob moved up topside when he
he's a
thinks
sponge.
got
He doesn't
serious
need to
with
be
Bill.
underwater.
Okay.
Yeah. Formerly known as the president of the U.S. of A. After giving Gary his dinner, SpongeBob climbed into bed. He watched as the snail crawled onto his new bed, courtesy of dear old Bill Clinton himself. Oh, so Bill paid for it.
Oh.
Gary refused to use it at first because of the horrid stench, but he eventually became used to it. Surprisingly, it was quite comfy.
Good night, Gary.
SpongeBob turned out the light and turned toward the object laying next to him. He gave it a quick kiss and smiled, closing his eyes.
Good night, Bill.
End of story. What'd you think?
I think we had to get through the kind of gross sex stuff just to get there, but nice kind of like Bates Motel kind of psycho ending there.
So I want to go through our list of tropes and see how many we hit.
Sure. In just that short span of time.
Yeah.
Also, Bill, he never liked SpongeBob because he never valued him. He never, I never assumed that you would see and put together two and two together the names. Like, he totally was not on the same level as SpongeBob.
It's making me think if there are some dynamics there with Bill and Thickery, and whether or not they're doing it anymore. And maybe, he's... Through his years of cheating on her, she has pushed him away.
He still loves her, though. He still thinks about her.
And so he...
needs a release.
Yeah, needs a release, needs that. She won't have it anymore because of all the times he's hurt her. So he just goes out searching for sponges and interns, and he does something like that.
Right.
But all the while, he's looking for Thickery. He's thinking of Thickery.
Yeah, I think this gives him a little more credit.
It could
on that front.
I don't know if he deserves it, but it certainly does.
A
give
little
him
more credit than
yeah.
I think he actually has.
Trope 1: no lube needed for sex. Hit it.
That is very hit.
Yeah.
Hit very
2:
hard.
no condoms. Hit that.
Of course, yeah. Well, don't need to worry about it.
3: tongues battle for dominance.
Not in there.
No.
Nope.
4: no normal sex. None. I don't think that's normal. He's
a sponge.
Sponge, yeah.
I would say NA on that one. Yeah.
5: never any bad sex. Nope. It was all good. Even when it was dry, it felt good for Bill. Even when SpongeBob was having...
SpongeBob does mention that he's like, I don't know, but I'm still enjoying the process.
Enjoying it, yeah. 6: losing virginity. There.
Of course.
7: impossible sex positions.
No, it was pretty normal.
It was pretty normal.
I mean,
well, unless you're counting like...
Again, let's say NA.
Yeah. 8: gushing vaginas. No vaginas. None. 9: overplayed gay sex stereotypes. I'd say no. I think they were pretty progressive in this one.
Yeah, I mean, SpongeBob was pretty clingy. This is his first
lover.
lover. So, I mean, that's a pretty common...
I don't think that's gay, though. I think a lot of people are like that.
Okay.
I knew a lot of dudes who were straight that were pretty clingy.
But that's also, the stereotype is that dudes are like, whatever.
Yeah.
But unless they take on, and women are more attached, so when someone's gay and they take on
I guess
that
you're right.
feminine. I wouldn't say it's overplayed, but it's in there. It's
I would say this one's up to interpretation.
This person wanted to write a story about two characters, I don't think they necessarily brought that dynamic into it.
No prep for sex. I'll say yeah.
Nope, they hopped to it.
Yeah, first time anal isn't painful. Does it count? Because all of his holes did it and they wasn't painful.
He did talk about it being dry.
Yeah, but he said it didn't hurt. It was pleasurable.
Okay, well, and SpongeBob obviously just doesn't feel any pain, so.
Multiple ways of referring to a penis. I think we're right up there with that one.
Yep.
He did say pee-pee.
He hit our favorite, member.
Yeah, member. He did say member.
Bring back member, everybody.
Vagina referred to as tasting sweet or fruity. No vagina.
Not in there.
14, fingers called digits. No digits used.
Such a
Thank
waste.
God.
Dang.
Penis leaks pre-cum.
Nope,
None. No refractory period for men. Not
only one
applicable.
round, yeah.
Yeah. Man feels the walls of the vagina clench as he is sent over the edge. No vagina, again. A lot of moaning. There was a lot of moaning.
Sure.
No cleanup necessary by virtue of the sponge. No cleanup necessary.
Right, and it sounds like SpongeBob let Bill Clinton lay where he fell.
Yeah.
So no cleanup for the murder either.
Canon straight characters engaging in gay sex. That's the last one. It depends on whether or not
How you read
Does
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob even have a sexuality? I think he's a kid, and it's for kids. I don't think SpongeBob actually has one.
And what's the canon of Bill Clinton? He's supposed to be,
I
what?
honestly think Bill Clinton's
Straight?
bi.
Okay, like
If you told me Bill Clinton was bi, I'd be like, yeah,
okay.
I would believe it.
But canonically, Bill Clinton is straight.
Straight, yeah. He has a child who is not straight, but he has a child and a wife and was the president.
Yeah. So according to canon,
I guess we hit that trope. Reluctantly, we hit that trope.
yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Yeah, no, I do like when they try to make it something more than just your paint by numbers sex story.
Yeah. This was different. I don't know why someone put Bill Clinton and SpongeBob together, but they did. Nothing wrong with that.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
It's almost like they went to like a random name generator. Like, okay, SpongeBob and Bill Clinton. All right, make it work.
Boom.
Gosh dang, look at that thing.
Gosh
born.
dang, look at that thing.
It was born.
That was good.
That's this fanfic's greatest contribution to society.
Gosh dang, look at that thing. There was another one. What's the other one?
I was just so enraptured with gosh dang, look at that thing.
that one's pretty good.
I was already thinking of t-shirts and mugs.
Yeah, gosh dang, look at that thing. His micro peener.
Tattoos.
That too, yeah. Gosh dang, look. Oh, also the flawless Bill Clinton. I mean, Sponge Dong. Sponge Dong.
Sponge Dong, yeah.
SpongeBob Sponge Dong.
Was that one word hyphenated?
No, it was two separate words.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess you should hyphenate it.
Sponge
shouldn't
Dong
you?
tight
Sponge
pants.
Dong. Yeah, so I liked it. I liked that one. I think we had some pretty good fics
Sure.
this time around. What do you think?
Yeah, good stuff. We went heavy with the first one.
Yeah.
And
Lightened it up at the end.
Lightened it up with some sex and murder and
Sponge
revenge.
Dong.